Hello my friends and welcome once again to Tony's Comfort Kitchen, the home of comfort food. On this channel I show you how I cook my favourite comfort food dishes of all time, food that warms the heart as well as the belly. Okay, so today I am doing a Chinese takeaway meal, or fakeaway as people may call it these days. And it is chicken with tomato. Now just imagine it's a Friday night, the money's tight, you want a Chinese, you don't need to go out and get one from the takeaway. You can make this at home. It is so easy, it is cheap to make, simple, quick, it's perfect. And the best thing is we can make this taste just like any Chinese takeaway meal you've ever bought. I kid you not. So if that has whetted your appetite, then let's crack on with it. Okay, so for the ingredients, we start off with one chicken breast that has been cubed up. Then we go for 1 teaspoon of pureed garlic. Now if you don't know how to do this, I have a video that I can put a link to up here where I show you how to make garlic puree and garlic and ginger puree for curries. I'm not using that today. And as it's a chicken with tomato dish, here are the tomatoes. There's 1.5 tomatoes here. I think the original recipe comes from Zhang's Food Workshop. By the way, another channel on YouTube, great channel, and I will put a link to their channel in the description below. Anyway, they call for 2 tomatoes, but these are quite big, so I've done 1.5. They've been cut up into sort of 8ths. Half an onion, just cut up into chunks. There's nothing too fine about this dish. 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. In this case it's sunflower oil. You can use what you want. Okay, so here is the secret ingredient. It is, as it looks, it is Heinz tomato ketchup. Now, according to Zhang's, if you want to recreate the flavour of a Chinese takeaway perfectly, certainly in this case, you need the Heinz variety. So apparently the cheaper versions don't taste as good, and they have a bit of an odd flavour when you cook the actual tomato ketchup into the dish. So Heinz tomato ketchup. Now then, the other ingredient that makes this dish taste like an authentic Chinese takeaway dish is the use of MSG. Now I know a lot of people have issues with MSG. I can assure you it is perfectly safe to use, and I will put a video in the description below, as I always do in my Chinese dishes, where the chap will go into much more detail than I could ever do about the merits of MSG and how the fact that it's not bad for you. So you don't have to use this, but if you want to recreate the flavour of a true Chinese takeaway meal, use that, because if you buy anything from a Chinese takeaway, it will be in there. 2 teaspoons of sugar. I use brown sugar, but it doesn't have to be, any sugar is fine. And 1.5 tablespoons of light soy sauce. A splash of dark soy sauce. These are both at Lee Kum Kee. You don't want to put too much. It'll darken your dish down quite a lot. And it'll add some more flavour as well, but you don't use too much of it. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then we have some corn starch or potato starch, whatever you want, in a slurry, just to thicken up the sauce at the end. And finally, 250 millilitres of water. And that's it. So let's crack on with it. Okay, so I've switched the gas on, just waiting for the pan to heat up. As soon as it starts to smoke a little bit, we'll add the oil. Okay. Okay, so the oil quickly comes up to temperature. As it's starting to smoke, we'll put the chicken in first of all. Leave that for now. Best not to let it move around the pan too much at first, because it tends to stew rather than sear the meat. Spit in. Right, closely followed by the onions, or onion, should I say, half an onion. It's just the smell of the onion and the chicken alone is amazing. Okay, so the chicken is browning nicely and the onions are starting to take on a bit of colour. I will add the purely optional MSG and the salt. Then the garlic. Now you don't want to let that sit around too long because it will burn, and you don't want to do that. Okay, now add in the tomato ketchup. As I say, the Heinz tomato ketchup. And you just want to let that tomato ketchup cook in, and it will take on completely different flavour. It won't taste like tomato ketchup. There's a much more deeper flavour. Now, like I say, Zhang's Food Workshop say that it has to be Heinz. I've never tried it with anything else other than Heinz before, so I can't comment. In fact, I've never made this with chicken before. It's always been with beef in the past. It just takes a little while for the tomato ketchup to cook in. Just keep it moving. Okay, so that now has cooked in enough for me. I'm going to add the water, 250 millilitres of water. Then the light soy sauce. And a wee splash of the dark, not too much. Well, you can have more if you want, it will darken the dish. Add more. Trouble with these bottles is there's no small pour hole, so I've got to pour far too much in. And then we just let that heat up, bubble away, and then we'll finally add the tomatoes, and believe it or not, that will be the dish done. Okay, the liquid is reduced slightly. I forgot to add the sugar. It's not too late. Add the tomatoes. So you don't want to put them in too soon, because they will just turn to a mush. And they need to be, it's best if they're slightly underripe. Anything too ripe and it'll just, like I say, it'll just turn to mush. basically just heating up the tomatoes. Let them cook a little bit, but not too much. So now we thicken up the sauce with the slurry. Not too much at a time because it will quickly turn to glue. You want a nice, fairly thick sauce, but nothing too gluey. A little at a time. Nice to have plenty of sauce. Soak into your rice or your noodles. A little bit more. It's almost there. Tiny amount. And that should do. And that, my friends, is the dish done. Okay, my friends, I'm going to dig in. That has a really deep tomatoey flavour. So you wouldn't know there was Heinz tomato ketchup in there. But that has got a very, very deep, rich tomatoey flavour. You've got to give this a go. Oh, so good. Now, of course, you can make this without the MSG. It's entirely up to you. But it won't be the same. It definitely will not be the same as if you put MSG in. And if you have issues with MSG, please do look at the link in my description below to a video that does a great job of explaining MSG and the fact that it isn't as bad for you as has always been thought. You know, MSG has less sodium in it than salt, so it's better in that respect. And the glutamate that you get in monosodium glutamate is the same as natural glutamate, which is found in virtually every food, or certainly every savoury food. Indeed, there's glutamate in the tomatoes that went into this dish today. So please go and check that video out. You'd be surprised. You'd be very surprised how good it is. Anyway, have a go at this dish and let me know in the comments below what you think. And let me know what you think about MSG. It'd be good to hear. Excuse me. Wow. Honestly, this is as good as a takeaway version, and a lot cheaper as well. Simple to make, cheap ingredients, and jobs are good. Great for Friday night. So please like, comment, and subscribe as per usual. If you could, that would be mega. And I will see you in the next video. And until then, my friends, peace and love. Tony's out.